I'm Ronan Rothwell from Boleybawn Horses, and this is Gregory Phelan, who's our resident vet here at Boleybawn. A couple of months ago, we got an Ovacyte machine from Telenostics. It can analyse fecal samples from the horses and let us know how many worm eggs there are in the fecal samples.
So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to log the sample into the system online, and it lets me see here all the previous scans we've done, and then I can also log in what we're going to do.
Can you do that on the app, or do you have to have a laptop?
No, you can do it on your phone, or you can do it on the machine as well. I just find it more convenient to do it on the laptop. And so we just select that it's a equine fecal egg count, because the machine also does sheep and cattle.
Can horses get fluke?
Horses can get fluke, yeah. It's not very common in Ireland though.
If we put in the equine test, would the sample, could you detect fluke from the sample? Or do you have to do a specific fluke?
I believe you need different plates to do fluke.
Yeah, I understand that.
Changing it that it's the one plate.
Alright.
But it's a different medium, because what we use as the flotation fluid is a certain concentration of salt to water and fluke of different densities. First thing that we're going to do then is we have our sample here, and the sample is from multiple pieces of dung and different parts of them pieces of dung, and we like to kind of emulsify it to try and get a consistent spread of fecal eggs, because the eggs aren't necessarily distributed evenly across.
You say emulsify because you're a vet, or is just emulsify different than mixing it up?
Just mixing it up, yeah.
You're mixing it up.
Yeah. The amount then that we're looking for is 3 grams. So once it's within 0.1 of a gram,
you're all right.
It's okay. So there's a really handy little flowchart diagram of how to prepare the sample.
Yeah.
So we're now on step 3, and we've moved on to step 4, which is where we add the flotation media, which is a mix of water and salt to a specific concentration.
And the medium comes with the...
So the medium, you get enough medium with every 20 slides. They come in boxes of 20 slides.
It's, Right.
Bring it up to 50 grams, and then that kind of allows you to, so fecal egg counts, we talk about them as eggs per gram. So we obviously have 3 grams, and then we'll add probably less than 47 mils, but we're bringing it up to 50 grams, so total weight. So then the volume of the cassette, which I'll show you now in a few minutes, the machine is able to work out how many grams it has analysed. Now, and so the same with that, it's within 0.2 of a gram for adding the media.
Yeah.
And so then we just have a timer here, and what we use this for is to count for 15 seconds of mixing to get a kind of an even breaking up, I suppose, of the feces. We move on to the next step, which is we have a filter here. We're going to pour the mix down through it. And what this does is it allows the organic matter to stay above the filter.
Yeah.
And it's at a specific gauge that allows the fecal eggs to pass through, along with some of the medium.
Yeah.
Then we have our cassettes here, and I like to try and label these, because when you're doing a few numbers of them, it's very easy to get mixed up. It's a round disc, and just down at 0.1, it's our first sample of the day. And just leave it here for a second, and then what we can do then is we can get rid of this part of our mixture. Like to give this a good mix through to make sure that we have a kind of an even concentration of the mix. The way the plate works is we have a ring here and it fills up kind of like a well with our prepared sample. And so now we're pretty much ready to go. So you'll see here now that when I just go onto the machine and start to scan, that we have my preloaded scan here and all the information is ready to go. And so
you did that on the laptop, but it went through the
cloud.
Through the cloud.
Yeah.
And it landed into the machine.
Pretty much instantly, yeah.
But you could type it into the machine and it would be available in the cloud on the laptop.
Exactly, or your phone or anywhere, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
I can watch over you then.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So the importance then with fecal egg counting, whether you're doing it with the Ovacyte machine or the old-fashioned manual way, is you have to allow some flotation to happen. So this flotation time is automatically built into the machine and it's designated as 7 minutes.
Horse owner's point of view and like a non-veterinary view on the benefits of it is, I know that we had a bunch of horses with a really high worm burden, and then we used a very one of the most cheapest worm doses on them, and we got like a really good result that brought the worm eggs or the egg count down like drastically. And prior to having the convenience of doing this, I would have just, the worm burden's really high, let's go for the top of the range, gold standard, most expensive worm dose on the market. And I thought that wasn't, it was good to be able to experiment and know that wasn't necessary. And the other thing was, remember the foals, we dose, or we checked the foals there last week, and what was it that we found?
They had Strongyloides westeri, which is a threadworm that's commonly found in young foals.
Well, what sort of numbers did we get?
Some of them had quite high burdens, like around 10,000 mark.
10,000, and how old was the foal?
3 or 4 months old.
3 or 4 months old, and we were under the impression that the mares were like well treated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So I suppose it's the importance. You used a great word, is the convenience of it. That if you are suspicious of something, that you can come up, run it very quickly and rule something out, and then you can work from there if it either is or isn't the case.
Well, it'll be interesting to see now if we do the foals now in, I don't know, a week's time or something.
It'll be about a week's time now. Yeah,
from now. And to see if they come down.
Yeah.
The other two, like the foals, are looking amazing as well.
Yeah. I just had a bit of an issue with one of the cassettes there, so I'm just going to text the WhatsApp number they have, and they always reply very quickly about any issues that you might have with the machine.
If we didn't have this, we'd never know it was an issue. It'd just be foals absolutely alive with worms. But you were saying something interesting to me there, that westeri comes from the mother to the foal when they're newborn through the milk. The eggs come through the milk, right? Yeah. So I understand that. But what we've discovered is that you're saying that the mother of one of the foals had a total fecal egg count of 180 eggs per gram, and then the foal that she was suckling had a fecal egg count of 10,000 eggs per gram.
Yeah, so
that's mental.
That's where the interpretation of a fecal egg count is very important, because you'd often hear people saying, I sent off my sample and it came back at 150 or 1,050, but of what? So
Of what worm?
Of what worm exactly?
Yeah.
So the most common worm that we talk about is strongyles,
Yeah.
and they are what we normally see the burden of in fecal egg counts. But the worms that are in the foals are strongyloides, which is a threadworm.
Yeah.
So they're a different worm.
So they're not able to hack it in the mother, but they're able to basically have a field day in the foal.
Exactly, and in young foals.
That's crazy.
Foals eventually kind of develop an immunity.
I wonder would the fecal egg count of the Westry in the foals go down naturally if they weren't treated?
I would assume you would see a natural decrease, but you would just be concerned about the damage that they've done exactly, and like reducing growth rates. And
probably never be the same again. Like.
No,
I'm delighted that we, like, I know it's not great news to have these big burdens, but they're only what, 2 months old, 3 months old, and at least we know anyway they're treated, and it'd be interesting to see hopefully the response to treatment now.
Yeah,
exactly. But at least we know where we stand with it anyway.
Yeah, so like I've just got a response back there in a few minutes from them, asking a question or two back about it. Obviously they've read the message there, so surely they'll come back with some sort of an answer.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And
often like the problems would be either I don't know, some kind of, a few weeks ago I had an issue where all of the tests I'd send off were coming back as saying that they were being sent for clinical review, which is another great thing about the machine, is that if the machine is powered by AI, so they have their own bank of images and it's able to compare like for like. But basically I had turned on the machine after not using it for a few weeks, and I just skipped an update, and they told me to update the machine, and that solved the issue.
Okay.
So, you know, no, so this is just finished its flotation now, and it's starting to capture images along the cassette. I suppose there is one thing I'd love to change, and maybe it's just that I can't wait, is that I'd love to see, you know, you can access the pictures of the eggs on the app or on the laptop, but I'd love to like get a live view just to see what's happening.
Well, I was blown away that you can go back and see all the eggs. Every single egg they capture, they have a picture of it and a little square around it. 4 species of worms on the machine there that the tests for. Is there species of worms that can't be picked up in the fecal egg count?
Yeah, there are some things like lungworm or bots, which is what you don't think of as worms as such, but they are, you know, they go through the larval stages where they are a worm. And also then I suppose the interpretation of these egg counts is very important, because certain parasites only have the eggs at certain times a year, or you could have, you know, your strongyles could be, you know, during the winter time. This is where you come through your encysted redworm problem, which obviously you can have catastrophic health issues with a horse, and a fecal egg count of 0. We
had a bunch of 2-year-olds there during the winter months. Was it January, February? The fecal egg counts were respectable, or they're all kind of in around the 200 sort of mark. And then we did the blood test for encysted redworms, and they were like sky high, weren't they?
Yeah.
And how does the blood test work? Like how can they detect it? Or
so they use they essentially are looking for the antibodies against the redworms. And I suppose that's another thing that is only so they're detecting the antibodies. So if you have in effect treated them redworms, you can't use that test within a certain period of time, because they will still have the antibodies. So it's really, you'd want to be testing when you're suspicious. And then if you're curious or want to see, then after a couple of months to see, is there still antibodies circulating against the redworms? Because body will still be producing them even while you may have eliminated them all.
Yeah, so when you do that blood test, you're not counting worms as such. You're testing the level of the fight that the blood is having against the encysted red worms.
Like just resistance to wormers because of overuse, underuse, incorrect use. So being able to...
Well, I was always, the interesting thing about that was I was always under the impression that Panicure was very sort of, was the weakest, most insipid kind of dose you could give them. And I thought that moxidectin Equest or whatever was like the most potent, amazing drug in the world. And like when we've treated them with Panicure and come back, there've been, you know, very significant reductions. And then we've done with moxidectin, there's been a couple that haven't been
as impressive reductions.
So as like from the horse owner's perspective, that's interesting. That's just like a preconceived thing that kind of just information around has made me believe that, you know.
Yeah, I suppose it's one thing. It's kind of like the sort of the horse tax, you know, on the wormer for a horse is 20 something euro for a tube of moxidectin, and something equivalent for cattle might be a quarter or third or less of the price.
Same stuff.
And it's
close.
Pharmaceutically, it's the same thing.
Pharmaceutically,
but, you know, licenses and all that crap.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's the beauty of this machine, that it allows you to
play around with it,
to actually do that and see, okay, actually that didn't work, so now we need to go back and try what.
Yeah, let's beep that again there.
So this then has completed what they call the standard scan.
It was effectively a faulty disc.
Yeah.
You got a message on the yoke that wasn't working.
Yeah.
You sent them a text, and they texted back in 5 minutes with the problem.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.